let's begin. We have our first guest, retired IAS officer, Dr. Subramanian Lakshminarayanan, who will speak on the common challenges faces during the UPSC journey and how to overcome them. Lakshminarayanan sir has worked in multiple government sectors like in the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Ministry of Information and Technology, and many others. He has represented India and various forums, has made our country proud. We are eager to hear the insight and wisdom he'll share with us. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Subramanian Lakshminarayanan to stage. Please give a big round of applause.
Respected members of the dais, my esteemed colleague from the IAS, Mr. Chaturvedi, young boys and girls. It's a matter of pleasure for me to be participating in today's seminar because both me and Chaturvedi and so have many other IAS officers seen enough of challenges in our life, and even after retirement, I'm sure Chaturvedi I think he's been heading some big bank and all that. I've been chairman of the largest NBFC in the country for about 15 years, Shriram Group. I'm still an independent director and chairman of 6-7 listed companies. I'm also the Supreme Court appointed administrator of Deelavati Hospital in Mumbai. And I am also an arbitrator for many cases of NHAI, plus chairman of 6 DRBs, which is Dispute Resolution Board. But having seen enough of challenges, it's always a pleasure to see young aspirants like you, because maybe 55 years back, I have been through the same kind of challenges, same kind of anxieties, and same kind of worries. Of course, nowadays there is a plethora of so many academies, but having post-graduated from St. Stephen's College, I was advised, and there used to be only one Rao's IAS study circle being held in the terrace of Hotel Palace site. The hotel is still there. I'm not sure whether IAS Academy Rao is there. Rao is no more. But in his name, I find no, there are some few academies, and but Rao used to be a guide for many people. I have done my master's in chemistry, and those days, of course, slightly now things have changed, or they have greatly changed. I was told that you have to now take 3 subjects of the level of an honors degree in the lower papers and 2 of the papers in the higher this thing. I think this was there up to 1975. I'm from the 1970 batch of the IAS. So that was my first attempt, but I made it in the first attempt. So I post-graduated in 69, and 1 year I was with Rao. I didn't know ABC of history because I have been throughout a science student. But then I was advised by Rao, you should take Indian history, British history, and Mughal history. So I told him, how do you expect me in 1 year's time to complete all this in 1 year? And of course, I need to keep brushing my chemistry also, because I have also opted for lower chemistry and higher chemistry. But he said, no, you opt for this, we'll help you. But he also told me, don't try to be a scholar. This is a competitive exam. Time availability is constrained. So you need to understand the essence of what is required and develop on that. So maybe a very, not a very popular word or an uncouth word would be kunji. But he said that you should have the key points. This is what a kunji does. Okay, because one used to, and he said, let me analyze for you what are the basic topics which will come in Indian history, British history, and Mughal history. And I will analyze that for the last 10 years and tell you these are the topics you should understand. just on those topics, read one basic book, and then we will give you quotable quotes as well as the bullet points. So those days it used to cost me 3 rupees. I bought a book called L. Mukherjee, which is about Indian history. And then I bought a book called Rayner on British history. Both I got second hand in Naisadak, because all of us, like you must be having now, have constraints of spending too much, then paying to the academy, paying to Mr. Rao, and then also being jobless, and your parents are saying ये तो MSc करके बैठ गया, अब इसको पता नहीं 1 साल या 2 साल लगेगा, कितना लगेगा. So anyway, my father was from the Central Secretariat Service. He was that time a deputy secretary. He said, "Don't worry, you are my only son, but read these books." So let me be very frank with you. Though I scored very good marks in history, and ironically, in 1 or 2 history papers more than chemistry, where I had done a master's from St. Stephen's College, Delhi University, by reading only these kunjis and the bullet points. So if you are wanting to be a scholar, then you should become a professor of history or a professor of whatever science or subject you are taking. There we require scholars. What you need to achieve with the help of these academies and the scholars available here, professors here, is using their knowledge and getting the essence of the subject and the topics which you feel these people are going to predict for you may appear in your paper. I don't think that has changed. That is the same trend. I'll just give you an example. I've never read a book called Lane Pool about Indian history. But Mr. Rao used to give me those bullet points, and he had quoted that the Mughal Empire collapsed after Aurangzeb, and he quoted from Lane Pool. Lane Pool had written in his book. Somebody who is a history student must have read Lane Pool also. Till today, I have not had the time to read Lane Pool, which the quotable quote which I still remember is, "The later Mughals looked towards beauty and turned away from duty." What he meant was that the later Mughals wasted their time with women, with gambling, with playing chess and this, that, and didn't concentrate. With the result, one by one, all the people who were part of the Mughal Empire separated, and at the end of the day, that last fellow after Aurangzeb, his empire extended from Red Fort to Chandni Chowk, and he died a very miserable man. Anyway, I had read Mukherjee also on that subject, but then I'm just telling you, in the IAS interview, which was headed by then Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Mr. L.K. Jha, and some other members of the UPSC, had Mr. Raghubir Dayal, who was the ex-foreign secretary that time, Rajeshwar Dayal, and 1 or 2 other people. I think there was a 5-member board. So they asked me, "You've done chemistry, masters in chemistry, you've taken history. We don't want a lecture. Can you summarize in 1 sentence, why did the Mughal Empire collapse after Aurangzeb?" So they talked among themselves. अभी तक तो कई हिस्ट्री लोगों से अपन भाषण सुन चुके. Let me see, being a science chap, can he summarize it? I said, "Sir, if you permit me to quote from Lane Pool, which I had never read, I'm telling you in truth till today." "Oh yes, have you read Lane Pool?" I just kept quiet. "Yes, sir, if I can quote from Lane Pool." I didn't say yes or no. I said, "Sir, if I can quote from Lane Pool." He said, "Go ahead." I said, "The later Mughals looked towards beauty and turned away from duty." They said, "Brilliant, brilliant." And he said, Mr. Jha said, "I'm a history student. I think we have interviewed before you 25 guys who have done masters in history. They couldn't summarize this the way you have summarized it. It's good that you led Lane Pool being a chemistry student." So I would still, even though I had completed 38 years in the IAS, now 16 years in the corporate, I still remember Rao, who is no more in this world, that he is the chap who gave me this quote. I have not done any great research in history. I read only 1 book for Mughal history, which is by 3 people, Sharma and somebody else, which again Rao told me. And there also, he predicted these 15 topics you should master. And these 3 topics may appear in a different format because they have appeared last year in this format. So I think in that 1 year time available, apart from brushing your minds with general knowledge, and then those days we used to have, I don't know what is the latest, whether you have a Prezi paper. So Rao used to tell me that you read the editorial and then bring the next day on an important subject. In 1/3 of that, a Prezi for me, and you would correct it for me. And you would say you have missed this point, you have done this point. So what I learned from these kind of academies, which I'm sure they will be now telling you, is how in a short time try to assimilate what is important and in your own way how to develop that and use their research capacities so that they summarize for you in bullet points what is required. With that, with the time constraint, I'm sure you can compete. Because some who may not be getting the right advice may be concentrating. If I had been concentrating only on reading Lane Poole and Rayner and all those hundreds of books, I would have forgotten my chemistry and failed both in chemistry and history. So you have a because everybody has to race against time. Of course, nowadays, the age limit has been relaxed. In our days, Mr. Chaturvedi will recall, used to make 2 attempts. And if you don't make it, you're finished. And your parents would say, my father used to tell me, Abhi masters in chemistry jarur kar liya, tumhe you are just a borderline case, you have scored only 61%. तुम्हें तो दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में प्रोफेसरशिप भी नहीं मिलेगा, बस कई लोग पीएचडी कर चुके हैं और इसमें फेल हो जाएगा आईएएस में, you will become a lab assistant. It is still ringing in my ears. And he said the chap who's done PhD will become a professor, at least he'll be well paid, they will be taken well care of, they'll be respected. As a lab assistant, you will be giving nitric acid and sulfuric acid to your chaps who are doing MSc. That used to put further fear in my mind. So I'm sure you are all undergoing these kind of pangs, these kind of tensions. So please insist on, because some booklets, the lady who invited me shared with me, yes, they are good. They have tried to summarize in articles. Read them in detail, then make summary of that also with the help of your professors. That should be in your fingertips. I could score about 70% in history, and I think British history scored even more because I had taken those bullet points, I knew them backwards, and I could, by reading the main kind of essays which Mr. Rao used to prepare for us, I could develop on those points. But if you ask me, I have read so much of history, no. And of course, chemistry, same, though Rao couldn't guide me on that. But again, I had done an analysis, what are the kind of subjects which keep on appearing again, and then try and concentrate on the same thing more and more. And try and not totally eliminate what has appeared last year, because the examiner will also know कि ये लास्ट ईयर अपियर हुआ करके ये पढ़ेगा नहीं तो इसको इसमें 2 घुसेट दो तो फिर कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे. You can't say that, I didn't read this topic because it has appeared last year. So you need to understand all the basic important questions which has appeared in the last 15 years and use the limited time available. In your case, of course, the pressure of 2 attempts is not there. Maybe there are 5-6 attempts. The pressure of age is not there. But I'm sure other pressures which I underwent with my own parents and some of my relations telling my father, अरे भाई तुमने नौकरी पे भी नहीं भेजा, 1 साल घर पे बैठ के इसको लगा रहे हो, फिर ये तो केमिस्ट्री भी भूल जाएगा, अगर आईएएस में नहीं आएगा तो भगवान ही मालिक है. These things will happen with your parents also. Some of you might have come out of Delhi. I was luckily in Delhi. I used to be in Gold Market in one of the squares. My father had got a small 2-bedroom apartment. Those days squares were only single, quarter allotted. But then some of my colleagues used to come from Patna, some had come from Bengal. They were all under much greater pressure with withdraw. Because if after all these efforts you don't make it, you will have difficulty in facing your own parents. And making it is not easy unless you have the knack of attacking the exam in a particular way. That I think these academies and the professors here, they know. And that is why I see so many students coming to the academy. The way people used to have a problem in getting admission in Rao's IAS study circle. But anyway, I was lucky, so he took me, because Rao would also, those days, estimate in his own mind that, whether this guy is capable of making it or not. I went through an interview even to get admission in Rao's IAS study circle. And then when he knows that you are really sincere, you're doing it, he takes more interest. I'm sure that will be the case with every professor. That was the case even when I was doing MSc. If the professor feels that you are interested and you are very serious about it, he takes more interest. But otherwise, he is not competing for the IAS. Or he is not doing an MSc. My professors were all PhDs. I had Professor Sheshadri, who was the head of the department. So they were all highly qualified people, even in Delhi University. Even today, I'm sure they are all highly qualified people everywhere. Otherwise, they won't be big professors. And of course, it's an unfortunate situation which is very much improving in this country, is that if you go to an America, which is now the other mecca for people who don't make it to the IAS, the most respected people are not bureaucrats or civil servants or the professors of various universities. That is why it is the greatest nation. And there, the bureaucrats change every 5 years with the president. Of course, here the advantage is men may come and men may go, and you stay on forever for at least 37 years if you make it in your first attempt, or in whatever attempt you made for a few number of lesser years. So please extract the best out of the faculty professors who are here. Please take their analytical experience, concentrate on those topics, and try to, with their help, get the bullet points, because what they have assimilated as experts in their field, you will not be, whatever may be your IQ, you will not be able to assimilate the same in 1 year's time or in 6 months' time. And you can't also give up the other subjects for which you're not taking coaching. So maybe the subject in which you've done your honors or MSc or whatever it is, you will say कि भाई चलो इतना तो मेरे को आता है. But उसमें भी you need to concentrate, because you are competing. I think in my days it used to be 1 lakh or more. Now it is, I think, 1 million. And then after that, it gets reduced, and ultimately, I think the plus minus same number of people get into all these services. It is not that nowadays, in my days, it used to be 100 plus, maybe 100 plus 110. And maybe this time it may be 140, but it doesn't go to 1500 in the IAS. Or in my days, it was 15 in the IFS, it may be 20 now, but it doesn't go to 150 in the IFS. So you need to make the best use of whatever time it is here. And there is no point in increasing your tension, because the tension, you don't assimilate much. You need to be calm. And then try to assimilate best you can. And then try your best. I'm sure you'll make it. First, you should have the confidence I'm going to make it. Then only you will make it. And then not only have the confidence that you will make it, then you should make attempts how to achieve what you are confident about. For that, you have little time available. I'm not saying time is available, but the time is limited. If I had done masters in chemistry, it took me 5 years to get that masters in chemistry with very able professors guiding me. You don't get that much 5 years to prepare for your other subjects. You're getting 1 year maximum. Maybe if your second attempt, 1 plus 1, 2 years. But still, you need to be focused, take the experience of people who have quite knowledge, people who are a professor here or a professor in any of these academies have got their own achievements. And as I told you, to think that they are not IAS is not the end all in life. I've already told you professors are the most respected in the most developed countries. Of course, India is now fast catching up. We have set up UGC. We are insisting that they should also be highly respected. Our present Prime Minister is giving most importance to scientists and professors and others. So it is good. It is required, because if India is to become a really developed nation like America or Germany, we need to do this. A bureaucrat, again, I will quote this thing. One of the chaps told me, you've taken Indian history, British history, Mughal history, Mr. Lakshminarayanan, you just scored 61% in chemistry. What makes you think you're fit for the IAS? Those days, of course, I think nowadays, because I have also been once in 2-3 years sitting in the regular UPSC as an invitee. They do invite some retired bureaucrats. Then we are told that, you can't give anybody more than 75%. These restrictions were not there when I appeared in the interview. And they have also said that things like you should not go about how many attempts he has made, or you should not go about his academic performance or non-performance. But those restrictions were not there apparently, because I was asked by one of the chaps, Mr. Lakshminarayanan, you scored only 61% and you have taken Indian history, British history, Mughal history. That was before the answer I gave. What makes you think you are fit for the IAS? We require brilliant people. 61% is not brilliance. So I said, sir, if I can politely submit, again, what is required for the IAS is a determination to do good for the country and also sound common sense and the desire to put in hard work. But are you saying that we are not brilliant? I said, sir, I never said brilliance is a bar for civil service. You told me I'm not brilliant, I concede. But you told me what makes you think I'm fit. This is the reasons I fit. Mr. Jha said, yes, the very fine reply. On my face. Then the same chap asked me about this history. When I said it, after that, those days nowadays we are not allowed to give. I scored 220 out of 300. And maybe with my performance, I would have got rank 70 or 80. I scored rank 21. I was offered both the IFS and IAS. So what is required is your presence of mind, not getting bullied by, if there is a bully around in the interviewing side. But I told you nowadays, because I am also sometimes on the interviewing side, 2 years back I was there, we were given a briefing by the regular UPSC members that you can't bully. I had shared my experience with them also. You can't bully. You don't go into their past. You don't ask them which attempt is this. You just treat them, and if they're not comfortable in English, please make them comfortable in Hindi. This choice also we didn't have in those days. Nowadays, the government wants more and more people from rural areas, from much poorer backgrounds, to get included in the civil service. Because at the end of the day, even though I've been a Stephanian, which is those days considered one of the best colleges and all that, and from a Delhi university, when I ultimately landed up as SDO in Ashok Nagar, I didn't even know where is Ashok Nagar. Then I realized it is in Madhya Pradesh. And then when I landed in Ashok Nagar, I found that I have to change a train from Bina to Ashok Nagar, which is a passenger train which takes 2 hours. There is not even a road connecting Ashok Nagar. Things have all much bright changed now. There are highways, there are roads, there are everything. But still, what I'm trying to tell you is, don't have this feeling, I am not from the elite society of Delhi. I am not from the elitist background of Chennai or Delhi or Bombay or Calcutta. You may come from the poorest village of India. The intention of the government is to set that poorest chap from the village who is intelligent, who has a desire to serve the country, is selected. So that should be very clear in your mind, that your background, your city, has no meaning here. What is all going to be tested is your efforts, your power to assimilate in this short time the best you can with the help of analytical people who are experts in the subject, and put in your very best. Then there is something called destiny. Then that always takes shape. And then I have already told you this is not the end all in life. I have seen life elsewhere. I mean, I didn't make any money when I retired. I'm sure that would have been the case with Mr. Chaturvedi. My own saving, a provident fund all put together was some 40 lakhs plus some gratuity or something which is now being increased. That was a day. And my wife was telling me, अरे सब होम मिनिस्ट्री में सेक्रेटरी वगैरह रह चुके, अब पेंशन भी उस दिन, because that time the secretary's pay was hardly 25,000 rupees. Now it is come to 2 lakhs. Now my pension is 5 times more than my last pay drawn as secretary. So my wife was telling me, with this, let us go back to Chennai or to some other smaller place. Even though your father has left this Vasant Vihar flat for you, I don't think we can maintain or even buy sabji with this. But still, anyway, I entered the corporate as chairman, and I made a lot of money. There's a lot of money in the corporate. But what you will get in the IAS, the exposure you get, the kind of people and the satisfaction you get that you're serving the poor masses of this country, the kind of people you come across. Now, I will end this with a small joke. I was newly married and my wife was from South. She didn't understand Hindi much, but she had picked up a little Hindi. So when I joined Ashok Nagar as an SDO, just on the fence in the morning, people will assemble. And my wife would just come along to watch the fun. They said, Hajur, ये आप ही के बच्चे हैं, हमें मदद करिए. My wife told me, शादी मेरे से क्या, कितने लोगों के बच्चे हैं और क्या क्या बच्चे हैं तुम्हारे. So I had to explain to her, this is the way these people want to sort of tell you to be sympathetic to what he is talking, what he has come with. Okay, so you'll undergo all these kind of experiences, but that man treats you as a father figure. He has a lot of hope in you. And I remember my first collector, who later on became Director General of Unidome, Mr. Tandon. He kept me in his own house as a trainee in Gwalior. Later on, I became Collector Gwalior also. I was Collector Gwalior for 6 years. He told me, Mr. Lakshminarayanan, which I would like to tell you also, you should rule as an IAS officer by your intellectual superiority. Intellectual superiority primarily because you come through a tough competitive exam and certainly you have a certain bright level of IQ, and moral superiority. So don't please quote me or misquote me. Moral superiority means, he said, many people whom you will come across may be corrupt. But you rule by your moral superiority. You should set an example that I'm a very upright chap. Then the trust will be there in you. The day you are not going to be upright, neither the other officers from PWD or the health department is going to care for you, because they say हम भी ले रहे हैं, ये भी ले रहे हैं, फर्क क्या हमारे में. Things are getting diluted now. That is why I'm giving you this advice even before you get in. But in my days, as a collector, even a police staff would be damn scared of you. Even the SP, because he knows that I have proved better than him in the IAS exam. He didn't make it to it. He made a different service. And the percentage of IAS people in my days, of honest people in the IAS was far superior to any other service. So we rule by moral superiority, intellectual superiority. And I can tell you, if you are a very upright officer, I am not from Madhya Pradesh. I'm a Tamilian settled in Delhi. I got Madhya Pradesh because those days the rule was that if you are a lady or you are from the reservation quota, then you will get your home state on priority so that you can serve your people better. But sometimes, and 50% will be outsiders. So Tamil Nadu had only 6 people. So I had one lady, Yasmin Karim, and one chap, Natarajan Narayanan, who became Chief Secretary. He was ranked 11. So he got it. And the other 2 one was a lady, one was Nateshan, who was from the reserved category. He got it. So the rule was that if you don't make it to your state, Your names are arranged in the alphabetical order. States are arranged in the alphabetical order. Lakshminarayanan came in front of him. I went to Madhya Pradesh. I never knew where is Madhya Pradesh that time. I mean, I knew it is the center of India. I landed up in Ashok Nagar. But I tell you that even though we have very poor impression about politicians and this, that, every politician respects an upright man and an honest man. I'm not from Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh is known for its caste politics of somebody being a Thakur, somebody being a Kurmi, somebody being something else. But I have been principal secretary to two chief ministers, Arjun Singh for 5 years, Digvijay Singh for 4 years. I'm not a Thakur. I'm not from Madhya Pradesh. And once when I asked them, sir, why did you pick me up? He says, तुम लोकल लफड़ों में नहीं पढ़ोगे, तुम्हें यहाँ के पॉलिटिक्स में नहीं पढ़ना है, और मेरे को एक ईमानदार आदमी साथ में चाहिए, और मैं 10 चीज तुम्हें बताओगे, तुम मेरे को एडवाइस दोगे, 5 मैं मानूंगा, 2-3 में तेरे साथ बहस करूंगा कि यार नहीं इसलिए ऐसे करो, 2 चीज जो मेरे को करना पड़ेगा उसमें तू मत मेरे से बात किया कर. I have to run the state. My compulsions are different. I'll just end this talk with only one thing. And please see that the ways of governance are still same. Because being a Tamilian, there used to be those days some, high command and some MLA started demanding Pradesh Bachao, Arjun Hatao. Arjun Singh was the chief minister. So principals, I'd returned from London School of Economics after my master's in developmental administration and economics. So he straight away posted me as secretary to chief minister. मेरे को मालूम नहीं था. 1 month after that, this demand came. So he called me, and that time there used to be an IG intelligence. And he said, Lakshminarayan साहब और पाठक साहब, ये जो लोग मेरे खिलाफ चिल्ला रहे हैं, इन लोगों की कुंडली निकालिए. As a Tamil Brahmin, I thought kundli means my horoscope. Because my father used to show my kundli to people and see whether this girl will match with mine. So I just looked at Arjun Singh, sir, ये क्या कुंडली किसका मैं क्या निकालूंगा? He said, पाठक साहब आपको समझाएंगे. So I said, sir, ठीक है. So Mr. Pathak came to my room and said, sir, कुंडली मतलब इन सब के बारे में हमारे डॉसियर है. इसमें हम जानते हैं कौन किसके साथ क्या ठेका में इन्वॉल्व है, किसकी क्या अफेयर चल रही है, किसने क्या घपला किया है, किसकी क्या प्रॉपर्टी है, ये सब की हमारे पास है. अभी भी देश ऐसे ही चल रहा है. ये सब हमारे डोवाल साहब के पास है, सबके बारे में. और ये कुंडली है. तो मैंने कहा आप क्या करना है अपने को? इसे तो आप उन्होंने बता ही दिया सीएम साहब ने, आप दोनों सबको रात को बुला के कुंडली दिखाइए. एक एक करके पाठक साहब ने बुलाया, मैं साथ बैठा हुआ था, दिखाया. दूसरे दिन उन लोगों ने बोला जब तक सूरज चांद रहेगा अर्जुन अमर रहेगा. दिस इज हाउ द कंट्री इज. So please understand, administration is not all that rosy. There will be a lot of issues, but still it's the most challenging career. Certainly worth a try, but not the end of the story. If you're making, if not to the IAS, you're making to some other good service also, fine. Nowadays, Mr. Modi is trying to see that other services are also respected. They are also being secretaries, additional secretaries. Good. There are engineering services because I am now chairman of 6 DRBs and I'm in 2-3 arbitration. There are people who are engineering chief from engineering services who are doing very well. I see a lot of good people there also. So also don't go under the impression that the world is over if we don't make it to IAS. The world is very wide. Thank you.